Hello there, here's a little story for you while I get ready. In Thailand this dish isn't really referred to as a salad, but for some reason in the West it is. And it's always kind of confused me because, the main ingredient is meat. Another confusion for me is that its name is often translated to waterfall, whereas in my brain it translates to falling water, which more than likely refers to the sound of the grilling meat juices dripping onto hot coals. But I've got to admit that waterfall salad sounds way better than meat drip salad. Oh, and you're definitely going to find this dish irony-free at nearly every barbecue hut by a waterfall in all of Thailand. Sadly, today the juices will not be dripping onto the coals as I am grilling the steaks in a pan. I'll tell you a little bit more about the choice of steak later. I find it to be quite important, but right now I've got to cut up the vegetable component of the salad, starting with shallots. I'm just going to slice them up into reasonably thin, but not too thin slices. You want them to stand up against everything else in the salad instead of wilting away. Just chop them up. On to sawtooth coriander. Now, this is an optional, not optional. If you can get it, don't leave it out. If you can't get it, do leave it out because you won't be able to get it. But don't worry too much because this guy, Mint, does plenty of heavy lifting in this dish on his own. You just basically pick all the leaves off. It's great if you can get tender young mint because then the stems are nice and soft and you can use them as well, at least the very tips of the stems. And you just pick and you make about a half a handful, and then you grab some coriander and about the same amount. In Thailand sometimes you get this dish and there's hardly any herb in it at all, just like the tiniest sprinkling, but I like it to be a little more leaning towards justifying itself as a salad, shall we say. The last green thing that's going in is going to be some spring onions. I don't think that's enough. I think you should grab another one. There you go. Now you just cut that just roughly. This is a really rustic, like most Thai food, really rustic assembly of ingredients just all tossed together. Alrighty, our steak appears to be done. So I'm just going to put it aside for a short rest. Okay, so we're back. The steak is rested. All those juices have stopped being volatile, and we can now touch the steak without burning our fingers off. Win-win. Look at that. Beautiful. We'll just pop those juices into our salad bowl. Don't want to go wasting those. And then we'll just slice into this steak and see how we've gone. Let's have a look. Oh yes, that'll do. Happy with that. We're aiming for around medium on this because the meat juices are sort of part of the dressing and you don't want lots of pink myoglobin floating around because it's not pretty and it doesn't really bring much taste to the table. Oh, and a quick word on steak. You see this dish often made with western cuts of steak like sirloin or, God forbid, eye fillet or something like that. That's not necessary and it's not necessarily correct. What you're really looking for is a steak like a flank or a skirt steak, flat iron or a hanger steak where the muscle fibres run along the length of the steak and it's quite thin. So once you've grilled it and you slice it, you're actually cutting across the grain of the meat like in a slice of perfect brisket, if you get that idea. Other advantages to these cuts is that they taste way beefier and also they hang on to and take up moisture far more readily than much tighter, fancier cuts of steak. So it's a no-brainer really. Hey, just quickly, if you like these videos, it would be really fabulous if you like them and even subscribe to them on the YouTube channel. That would be amazing. Thank you very much. God, that was awkward. Right, moving on back to the more comfortable area of cooking. So I'm going to add some ground sticky rice powder that I made earlier. I'll give you a video at some stage of how to make this. It's going to bring nuttiness, it's going to bring crunch, and it's going to thicken the sauce, make it stick to the meat a little bit better. And going in here is dry roasted chilies that have been ground. Then that brings basically heat and smokiness. Then we go with our classic Thai version of salt, which is fish sauce. A couple of tablespoons for this, and about the same, if not a little bit more lime juice. Just think 2 parts salt, 3 parts acid, and then adjust to your own taste. Just don't make the mistake of not putting in enough. One of the major crimes is underpowered flavourings. You really have to commit to do this fabulous dish justice. And if your tendency is to not be too bold with flavours, give it a whirl, because you may just impress yourself. Okay, if you have strong feelings about MSG, please look away now. I'm going to put in half a teaspoon of MSG because I wanted it to taste restaurant style today. I don't use MSG in everything. I don't use it all the time. I have no strong feelings about MSG one way or the other. To me, it's an ingredient that you use sometimes for some foods when you want a certain result. And that is my sermon for today. On a sweeter note, let's just add a little pinch of sugar. That's just going to round out the saltiness and the sourness, sort of complete the triangle of flavour. Now I'm mixing it up, tasting it to see if my balance is right. What I'm looking for is savouriness first, followed by sourness from the limes, then the saltiness of the fish sauce, and then a big punch from the chilli. Now I'm just going to add a splash of water to loosen the sauce up a bit, because when I put this on the heat, the ground rice is going to soak up some of the liquid, and I want enough liquid there so it also soaks into the meat. Now all I'm doing here is warming up the liquid. What that does is it mellows out the flavour, and it also makes for a warm salad when you serve it. A lot of people make the mistake of just mixing it all together and then serving it, and what happens is that the coldness of the sauces and the vegetables bring the temperature of the meat down, and you end up serving a cold salad, which is not what this salad is. It's definitely meant to be warm on the plate. Now it's just a matter of chucking in all the vegetables. The shallots are in go the greens. Just give them a good thorough mix, toss it all through. If you're not sure where you're at, have a little taste, because this is your last chance. Because in about 5 seconds, we're going to just chuck this all on a plate. I'm going to chuck it all on this plate, the one with the meat juices on it from before. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. Yes. You want a little bit of liquid like that, something for your sticky rice to soak up. You don't want a soup, but you also don't want it to be dry. Cut up a little bit of cabbage. Chuck that on the side if you want. You can put any green vegetable that you like, cucumber, whatever. And grab your sticky rice. Grab a little ball of sticky rice. Roll it up, squeeze it between your thumb and finger. Grab a piece of your tok, stick it in your face. And yeah, it's pretty good. Rightio, so here are my suggestions. You should go to the shops, you should buy the ingredients for this, and then you should go home and make it, because it's really delicious, it's really easy, and you'll be super stoked with yourself for having made it. That's all. Enjoy. Bye.